So let's go ahead and look at the Unity interface. What I'd like you to do is open Unity up from the Start menu. And you do that by selecting Start on your computer and then finding Unity. The Unity Projects dialog box will appear. If you followed along in the previous chapter, you should see your Game Objects project. Select this. Let's take a look at this interface. You have the basics of everything you need. Many people call these views. Many people call these tabs. I happen to write them as windows because I see them as windows, but Unity may refer to them as views. So in your basic layout, you have the complete project with the file menus, your basic file menus, other tools that you need. In the next line, you have a hierarchy view, a scene view, a game view, an inspector view, notice I'm saying view, project view, and a console view. Now if you read in the chapter, these will be scene window, game window. But you know what? There's all kinds of options that you can make available on how you view this particular area. Over here in window, you can select layouts. And there are all different kinds of layouts. Right now I am on the default layout, but I could choose wide layout, and it just makes a larger screen to work with, and it moves your project and your hierarchy in a different area. And I'm going to go find another one and do a tall layout, and it just provides everything in a different view. Let me go back to default as we go through all the different windows. So in the hierarchy window, you usually have your default main camera and directional light. This is where everything in your scene is housed. Everything that you add to the scene is kept in the hierarchy window. So you've already added your cube. We have that. So let's select the cube. You can select the cube in the scene, or you can select the cube in the hierarchy. And we'll move over to the inspector window. The inspector window is the place that has all the properties associated with the particular game object that is selected. You'll learn more about this in future assignments and future chapters. Let's move over to the scene view, which we're actually in. And the scene view is everything that pertains to that scene. This view allows you to look at it many ways. This is your little gizmo here, and your gizmo can change the way that you look at the scene. If you select the Y, you're looking down. You select the Z, you're looking to it. I'm just going to use my little mouse and kind of change that. I just clicked and dragged and changed the view. So if I wanted to zoom in on this particular object, I could select it, make sure my mouse was hovered in the scene view, and select the F key on the keyboard, and it zoomed right in. That's amazing, isn't it? Now let me explain some of the things about the X, Y, and Z. These are known as axes. And axes are the way that you see a 3D object. If this was 2D, we would only have the two separate axes. So I'm going to select the 2D, and you see that it's like flat. So let me come out of the 2D and go back to our little view. I'm going to middle mouse, look at it. You can see the 3D. That's middle mouse, pull, and you can see the 3D cube. We're just going to take a look at the cube in a 3D manner, I want to talk about the X, Y, and Z. The X option can move an object, what I say, to right and left. And the Y is the up and down of the scene, and the Z is actually the Z as in Z. It goes, some call it forward, backwards, or it could be as depth. So that is your X, Y, Z. That is your 3D component. That's what makes up the X, Y, and Z. I'm going to keep moving on, and we're going to go to the game view. And the game view or game window shows everything that is in the actual game view when you select the Run option. So now that I'm here, let me kind of tell you something about the Run option. When you are in Run option, you can still make edits to your game, but guess what? It does not save. This is why I have this funky green color here. So when I'm in Run, I know, oh yeah, I'm in Run, so I can't really save anything. And you can change these colors, of all these colors actually. I'm going to actually deselect Run and go back to my scene view. But you can change all of these colors, even what's going on here and all over the place, by Edit, Preferences, Colors. And all of these colors can be changed. Your background colors, your grid colors, your wireframe colors, your X, Y, and your Z. I kind of like them red, green, and blue. I just leave. The only thing I usually change is the play mode option. So that's how you can change that. Now, once again, I am going to give you a little tip, and this took me a long time to learn. Let's just say that this cube in this particular view is how you want your game people to see when they select Run. If I select Run right now, that is not what I see. This cube's way in the back here. So what I do is I line up my scene, select Main Camera, Game Object, Align with View. And you can see in the preview, that's what happens. So now if I select Run, that's what everyone sees. Very, very important. Just a little tip. But let's keep moving on. So we're going to look at the toolbar here. The hand, if you select the hand, it actually moves the scene. I'm clicking and dragging. I'm actually clicking and spinning my mouse. That's what the hand option does. This is the Translate or the Move tool. And when you select the Move tool and your object is selected, you can move it on the 3 axes. The Rotate tool, you can see the 3 axes, the red, green, and blue. Red, green, and blue. You just click on that line. I'm clicking and holding, and I'm dragging the mouse. That is actually the Rotate tool, which the hotkey is E. And this option is a Scale tool. The Scale tool, once again, has your red, green, and blue, and that means you can scale per axis. See? Or you can scale uniformly with the middle option selected. I am clicking and holding and dragging. Clicking and holding and dragging. That is the scale option. Hotkey is R. This particular tool is a rect tool and comes in real handy with the UI, which you'll learn about that later. So we'll let that go. The center and the global, or center and local, are the pivot points. So when we make something that is a child, a parent child, or something that is nested, that'll come in handy as well. So the local and global is, it's just reacts to whether it's reacting to the global space or the local space. Then we'll keep moving on over here. We have the account, which is your account. Cloud option, that's a new thing. We'll go over that later. And then the layers. Layers is something usually best used in 2D, but it can be used in 3D. Default is actually the layout we're on. This is the layout, so I'm on the default layout and it's telling me that. Okay, so the projects area is where you're going to keep all of the components associated with your game. And what I'd like to do right now is to have you create a scenes folder that we can actually put this scene inside of. So let's right click, create folder, and name it scenes. And select your enter to have it accepted. I put an underscore in front of scenes, and that way it'll always be at the top if I choose to use a listing. So now that I have the folder, I'm just going to click and hold the scene and drag it into the folder. Now it's nice and neat in file management. So once you get started with a game, you'll find everything you need will be added here, and you'll probably create folders for this file management. The console is where options are. If you started scripting or programming your object, this is where you could do tests, where it would write if everything's working, or it will tell you if there's an error in the game and tell you exactly where to go. That's pretty much it on the interface.